Is it possible to open a self-storage facility for just £20,000? That's 2 tens if you're wondering, and for that site to make over £100,000 profit? Well, in this video we're gonna find out. First of all, I'm gonna pass you to on-site Dean. Dean's gonna show you around the facility, why it's so good and what makes us interested in it. Then Dean's gonna hand you back to Digital Dean. Digital Dean is gonna go through all the expenses, the capital expenses, the gate, the lights, the CCTV, the solicitor's fees, you name it, we're gonna go through it. And then we get to the sexy part. We're going to go through the revenue, the profitability, and for projections to see if we can hit the Goldilocks zone of £100,000 profit. Right, without any further ado, I'm passing you over to On-Site Dean. On-Site Dean, take it away. Okay, big claims. Let's see if I can back it up. I've come to a place called Newark. I found this site online, nothing spectacular. I was just searching and this site came up. Now, this site has loads going for it, but it also has some disadvantages as well. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you around the facility, what's good about it, and then we're going to go to Off-Site Dean. That guy don't do much work, he stays in the office all the time, and we're going to go through the numbers and see how much this site really costs to open and if it can make some substantial money. What I'm going to do now is turn this bad boy around and show you the exact site. Right, so here it is in Newark. As you can see, one of the main attractions to me for this site, you can see the site is fully tarmacked. That is a massive advantage. There's no groundwork needed at all. The site has gates. The gates will cost money, so therefore this saves us a lot of money. There's palisade fencing all around the perimeter. Again, this will save you a lot of money. There's a security van just coming up now. Let's hope I'm not in trouble by recording here. We'll see what he has to say. Oh man, again, that was embarrassing. Security came. I always have a problem. On-Site Dean just always has a problem. Anyway, right, thank you very much, On-Site Dean. What we're going to do here, we're going to go through the numbers just to see if it makes sense for us to open and go through all the capital expenses. Now, first of all, I want to point out that Newark is a very, very competitive area. And the only reason we have put an offer in for this site and at heads of terms is purely because we want to test it, because there's not a lot of capital expenses to open, and this site genuinely can make substantial money even at 65% occupancy. So I did want to point out that I wouldn't recommend anybody with your first site opening in a place like this, because as you can see, a quick Google search, Newark self-storage, we can see there's absolutely tons of operators around here. So it's very competitive, but I think operationally we can compete and it won't take a lot to open in terms of cost. We're also protecting ourselves as well, because if it does go wrong, we've got a tenant only break clause, which means that we can walk away after so many years. There's where we are, just there. So that's where we are. We're down the street from these guys here. Right, let's go and have a look. And here I can show you again. I just wanted to point out how competitive it is on Google as well. Right, let's have a look. Don't get overwhelmed by this spreadsheet. It is dead easy to fill in. All we do is fill in these figures here, and then we fill in the figures here at the bottom, and it auto populates here, but we'll get to that in just a second. Right, the inputs. The most important thing, this is how many containers we're going to have. This is a container finance because we asset finance the containers. I want to point that out strenuously. We don't buy the containers. We use asset finance for the containers, and therefore it's easier for our cash flow. So we pay them as and when we need them. Right, the insurance is how much insurance we're charging. So containers, this is when we're going to open, hopefully, and the monthly cost. Again, I want to point out, we have gone massive on the fees here. Business rates, £1,000 a month. There's no way the business rates are going to be that much. We don't know how much they're going to be yet, but I put worst case scenario in because I want to show you guys how we do our projections, because there's no point in sugarcoating it and saying, oh yeah, best case scenario. I want to show you worst case scenario. So this is our monthly cost here, £200 cleaning, marketing, etc. That's quite expensive as well. It's quite chunky. Utilities, insurance, yeah, they're all very chunky. But again, it's better to project worst case and be surprised, a good surprise, rather than a bad surprise and project good best case and then all of a sudden have massive monthly fees. You're like, oh my goodness, I can't afford it. Right, the most important things here, I've just zoomed in a little bit so we can see exactly what we're looking at here. Operational cost invested, there's nothing here extra to invest in, so we're good there. Groundswork, as you can see, it's fully tarmacked. We don't need any extra money. The gate is £3,000 to make electric. Again, we're going on the top side of that. I don't think it'll cost that much, but if it does, then we've got it covered covered here. Planning, I'll be honest, this is a tester site and we've got a break clause after a couple of years. So we're not actually going to be spending any money on planning because we're going to get a retrospective planning. But again, I wouldn't advise anybody to do that. Please don't think Dean's saying open without planning. I am not. It's just on this occasion, we're seeing how it goes. If it goes well, then we'll open a retrospective planning application. And if it doesn't go well, then we haven't spent any money on planning. Solicitors fees, £3,000. It's a straightforward one. CCTV, probably less than that, but just in case, £3,000 because it's a very, very simple. The poles are there, everything's there in situ. We only need a few cameras because of the shape of the site. The lights are already there, which we already know. Access system, we need an access system to make sure it's manless. Some people use a combination padlock and just give the combination to the people who come and go. Some people use a smart padlock, but we like to go ultra professional and spend £4,000 on a PIN code access or an app based. So every time a customer comes, they either get a PIN code or they get an app they can download and just press open the gate and the gate magically opens. So, and then we've got £2,000 for other things that might come up. So the capital expense is £20,000. So can we open for £20,000? We can. However, because I want you to go into self-storage with your eyes fully wide open. Fully wide open. I think that's a saying. Anyway, you get my point. I want to make sure that you guys know that there is a period of negative cash flow. I talk about it all the time. When you first open, you have all this here and you have no money coming in. So you will be losing money first of all. So yes, we can open for 20,000, but we've got a period of negative cash flow to go through. Now here, across here, we've got rent free. So here's the amount of rent it is every single month. And we've got a rent free period of 6 months currently with this site. Hopefully we can get more, but I'd probably unlikely to be honest. This next one is just how many units that we are going to rent out. So every single month you can see there, we're only renting out 1 a week. And so I expect to rent out more than 1 a week, but for the purpose of this, we're just going worst case scenario because we know it's very, very competitive. Look, in April, we're only renting out 3 for the month of April. So we're not expecting it to be a very, very busy site because of how competitive it is. Again, we expect to rent out more containers, which means we'll take more money, but just in case we don't, then this is the figures that we put in. So the monthly summary, this is the most important thing. And don't get overwhelmed again. All this autofills. The most important thing is here, the profitability, all this section at the bottom. That's the most important thing. So I talk about a negative cash flow, a period of negative cash flow. As you can see, we're losing money for the first few months. It's around about 17 months we actually lose money at this site. Again, I want to point out that all the monthly costs are a lot bigger than we expect. So the monthly costs are higher and the monthly income is lower than we expect because we're only renting out 3 or 4 a month. So hopefully we can decrease the expenses and increase the revenue. And this shortfall will nowhere near be enough. But I just wanted to highlight this just in case. Right. So we are losing 61,000. I will hurry up because I know I can talk and I will pass you back to Offsite Dean just for a conclusion as I hit the microphone. Right. So there we start making money in month 18. So we've a cash flow negative at any one part at 64,055. That's including the asset finance for the containers. That's including everything. And then we start making money every single month. As you can see, within 3 years, we're making £6,000 a month. This is based on only being 65% occupied. And again, I want to point out one thing. These figures here are for 143 containers. If we've only got 90 something occupied, there's no way we're going to have bought 143 containers. But I wanted to point that out for the purpose of this. I wanted to show you that we're only going for 65% because it's a competitive area. We're only renting out 65% of the 143 containers. But there is no way that we would buy another 50 containers when we don't need them. We might buy an extra 5 or an extra 10 with the hope to rent them out. And if they sit empty, they sit empty. But we would never buy an extra 50. So hopefully you can see the monthly costs here have already included the extra 50 containers that we don't need. Right, let's have a look on the year on year because the question was, can we open for 20,000? Yes, we can open for 20,000. However, there is a period of negative cash flow. So that's 60,000. Can we make £100,000? That was the other question. And we'll see here it is, year 1, we're losing 39,374. In year 2, we're making 3,790. As you can see, 64,000 in year 3. So that's pretty good. And in year 4, we crank up to 105,000. And bearing in mind that we've only, worst case scenario, spent 60 odd thousand pound on this site to get it open and to get through that period of negative cash flow. And all of a sudden, from year 4 onwards, we're making 104,000. And that's not to mention what we can sell it for. We can sell our facility for 3,000 to 5 times profit. And so 3 to 5 times is 300 to 500,000 pound. You can see the ROI, the cash on cash return. It is incredible. So will this site work out for us? We don't know. We are testing the market because it's ultra competitive, but I wanted to highlight this site because I get the question all the time. Can we open for, how much does it cost to open? Can you open for 10,000, 20,000? We've got coaches. If you want to work with us, by the way, we got coaches galore to help you through this. There's a training at the bottom and then you can apply, etc. We've got coaches inside the program who have opened for just £10,000 in self-storage. So yes, it's possible, but you need to find the right site. This site is pretty much perfect. Apart from we can only get 6 months rent-free. Ideally, we'd love a year rent-free. That would massively help our cash flow position, but on this site, we can't. Right, I'm going to pass you back to Offsite Dean now, and he will take it home. All right, thank you very much, Digital Dean. Thank you very much, On-Site Dean. So there you have it. We can open for £20,000, but what I don't want you to forget is there is a period of negative cash flow. And what you've just seen there is worst case scenario. I want to get that across. It's probably going to cost nowhere near £60,000 for us to invest in that site, but I want to highlight the pitfalls. I don't just want to give you the upside of self-storage. I really want to highlight the negative cash flow because so many people overlook it, just like I did when I first started in self-storage, and I don't want you guys to do the same. So without any further ado, the only thing left for me to say is if you want to work with us, if you want to open a self-storage, you can apply. There is a link below for a free training, and then you can apply to work with us. We might not be a right fit for you. You might not be a right fit for us. Right, I don't know which video the YouTube gods are pointing to you next. It's here or here or here. I don't know I was doing that before, but click the link and there'll be another self-storage video for you there. Okay, thank you very much. I love you, I appreciate you, and thank you very much for your time.